Hi, I'm Arun, and talking about deaf identities across the country, you got to understand the whole deaf culture and the deaf community operates on a different cultural basis. There are not lenses as we have with our hearing culture, with caste and gender and society and all these ethnicities and so on. Deaf people consider themselves to be one group, one homogenous group of deaf people, where deafness and sign language is the core of their identity. So that is the primary lens you're going to watch and look at deaf people through. So deaf people surrounded by hearing people, wherever they may be. How would they construct their own identity? They have to construct it among other deaf people. So deaf schools, deaf clubs, deaf organizations, and that is where their hierarchy, their pecking order, their personality, all these things develop outside the house rather than among hearing people. So deaf identity comes from their language, from their communication, from their interaction, and from their own relating to each other as deaf people. Relating to the hearing community is not really relevant to them. How a hearing person perceives them is not as relevant to them as how a deaf person perceives them. This is the difference between a deaf person and a hearing person in their own community. Okay, so deaf people and marginalized communities. Now the thing with deaf people is, marginalized communities are communities where due to caste, due to poverty, due to situation, due to remote location, they are marginalized in different ways. Deaf people are marginalized in the most accessible and most central metro societies. Within their own homes they are marginalized, fundamentally because of their communication gap. Nobody can reach out to them. So you may live in $1 million house, and cars and drivers and everybody, and you can't talk to anybody, and you are marginalized at home, in your own home, among your family, in your society, in your parties, in your weddings, in your religious functions. A deaf person is marginalized completely differently than a community. And the deaf community itself across the world is marginalized due to a lack of language access for them and for people around them.